70% of millennials would rather trust a micro influencer than a big celebrity or a huge influencer for a product that they want to use. The key thing in all of this is return on investment, not only for you as the influencer but also for the brand. Brands are always watching. Brands were watching me when I had 750 subscribers. Okay, I hadn't even reached 1,000 subscribers. There's space for everyone, but not everyone is willing to put in the work, because essentially a brand is going to use you when they find value. Hello honeys, it's Yolz and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about micro influencing. It's the last day of the daily dose of Yolz, and yo guys, I am absolutely tired. I'm done. I'm just like, yo. So I thought we should rather sit down today, grab a cup of tea, milk, whatever it is you drink, coffee, cool drink. It's a little chilly today, so I thought tea, but I'm indoors, so I'm not wearing anything warm in case you like drinking tea. Anyway, one of the most common questions I get is, how do you make money, y'all? Is influencing actually sustainable? Can you make a living out of what you're doing? How does it work? Blah blah blah. So I'm going to give you guys the tea on how we micro influencers make money and how you can possibly make a living as a micro influencer. I want to mention that micro influencing is huge, especially in South Africa, because the majority of us are micro influencers. Now globally, generally a micro influencer is somebody with less than 100,000 followers, but in the South African context I feel like that could be well under 50k, because I consider big influencers anyone that's got over 50,000 followers, you know what I mean? Let's get straight into this video. If you do enjoy it, you know what to do. Give it a massive thumbs up, comment down below, and let me know if you are a micro influencer. In fact, leave your handle and your YouTube channel. This is the only video where I allow you guys to go ham with selling your channel. Go ahead, put it down in the comments below, let people know, and of course please subscribe. I know there's somebody out there who's been watching, who's binge watching in fact, but doesn't subscribe. Just subscribe, it's free. I love you guys so much. Enjoy.
Hey there. It's Yolz channel.
Alrighty, so a bit of background about me. I started making money on here, this whole influencing game, last year, May to be exact. Was it May or April when I got my first check? As in my first influencing check. I never signed up to be an influencer. I signed up to be a YouTuber, but with the world that we're living in and the whole new age thing, micro influencing in general became a thing. So for me personally, I was just growing my YouTube channel, and then I learned in the latter part of 2016 that I need to up my game on Instagram in order for me to, you know, grow my influence. And that's how I got into the whole influencer space. Long story short, you guys know I was part of the whole all things hair channel, and that was a fantastic opportunity, but it was one that opened my eyes into this whole world of influencing and how things work. And thankfully that got the ball rolling, with a whole lot of other brands just following in terms of making that money for me personally. So upon making my first check in May 2017, I then got to understand what rate cards was, what proposals are, and how the influencing game works. And I also got to learn the fact that you don't have to have a lot of numbers, but you can have a lot of influence. Influence has got to do with impact. It has to do with you influencing the viewer to go to clicks and basically buy the product that you are selling. But it's also not always about selling. It could be about rebranding. If a brand wants to change the perception, you know, that the market has about the brand, they can then use an influencer. And I'm talking particularly about micro influencers today, because I'm a micro influencer. On Instagram I've got 15,000 followers, and here on YouTube I've got about 18,000 subscribers. So I'm pretty much a micro influencer. But I do want to mention the fact that these are two very different platforms. The one, Instagram, sells a lifestyle. The other platform is YouTube, shows you how to do things and is used for entertainment. So that's two different platforms, although now like Instagram is moving into the whole entertainment side of things and there's a lot more, but the core of it for brands, they use it for those two things. And I've learned to actually use those two platforms interchangeably for the two different things. So on the one side, I want to always sell a certain lifestyle, which is generally like, you know, family oriented, things I like, things I use, and things that I generally live with, you know, how I live my life. Versus YouTube is more of a how-to series, how I do my hair, what I use to do my hair, and in that way, that's how I sell my value to a certain brand. Now, for most people who just want to make money, think you can just put up a video on YouTube and a brand will approach you just like that. It's all about what you are bringing that's unique, something that's engaging, something that's going to get people talking. For me personally, I sell my engagement. You guys are always active on my comment section, for instance. Brands love that. They thrive on that. And you've actually taken and translated that onto my Instagram as well. And I absolutely am so grateful, because that's the one thing that sets me apart from a lot of other influencers, micro influencers that is. And that's one thing that brands look at and brands love. So the other reason that brands use micro influencers is the targeted audience. What are the chances of a guy who's very punk and into mohawks and pink, green, purple hair that changes it all the time? What are the chances of that person following me? Very little. The chances are I've got more naturals following me on this platform, more women that are following me on this platform, more young women between the ages of 18 and possibly 35, even 40, right? So if a brand is looking to target those people, who are they going to speak to here on YouTube? Me. And even though there are a lot of us that do the same, if they are looking for an informative angle, a how-to angle, who are they going to call? Yolz. Right? So that's how brands look and search and target influencers. And a lot of the times people are like, oh, why do certain brands use certain influencers? Well, they actually do their research. They watch our channels. Brands are always watching. Brands were watching me when I had 750 subscribers. Okay, I hadn't even reached 1,000 subscribers, and a brand was watching and a brand approached me, and that's how I made my first very long, it was such a long contract, you know, that I had, and I'm very grateful for that. But understand the fact that micro influencing does not mean that you are very little in this play. In fact, apparently 70% of millennials would rather trust a micro influencer than a big celebrity or a huge influencer for a product that they want to use. So understand that there is power in micro influencing and there is money in micro influencing. So now that you understand that brands use micro influencers for a targeted audience, they also use them for their high engagement and the fact that they're a trusted opinion, I want us to then delve into the different ways that I personally make money here on YouTube and Instagram. There are tons of different ways. Brands can pay for sponsored posts. Nowadays, we're even being paid to attend some events. So brands actually pay us to attend their events and say that we are there. Maybe even like mention a little snippet about their products here and there. But it's not always sally. A lot of brands are now realizing the fact that they don't want the whole sale, but they want to sell their awareness. Be aware that this brand is playing in the natural hair space. Be aware that this brand is here and they're here to stay. Be aware that this brand is conscious of, you know, being eco-friendly. It's conscious of the environment. It's conscious of the values that we hold dear to our hearts. And they want to match that with the right consumer, which is why they use us. The other way of making money is obviously having a fully sponsored video. Say for instance, I'm doing a skincare video and Clean and Clear decides to sponsor that video after many uses, of course, of me using that product, or they've seen that I actually use their product and decide to sponsor that video. That is one of the main ways here on YouTube. The other way here on YouTube is obviously our AdSense account. Another way is endorsements. Say a company wants me to use their car for a month, so I'll be using this car for a full month. Say it's BMW, and I'll be showing how I can use it with my family, what we're doing over the weekend, driving around with this car, going on holiday with this car. And that month that I am utilizing this car, I'm being paid for that. I would quote an all-round price of how many posts that I'll do on Instagram saying that I'm using it, how many Insta stories, and yes, some Insta stories are sponsored, how many YouTube videos I'll be showing, how many vlogs I'll be featuring this car in, and all of those things add up and they make money at the end of the month. So in a nutshell, there are various ways of making money on here. There's even talks, for instance. Say a brand wants to know how they can utilize me as an influencer and they want me to do a talk to their staff particularly, or a brand wants me to talk to at an event where they're talking about hair and I need to talk about how to moisturize your hair using their products, you know, that too is money in the bag. If I'm going to be part of a panel, I'm also being paid for that. If I'm going to be a main speaker at an event that's speaking about influencing, I'm also going to be paid for that. So there are tons and tons and tons of ways. I think the key takeout here is for you to find your niche as a micro influencer and try and leverage on whatever it is that you're really good at and try and make money out of that. Now that you know how to make money, I want to also mention that there are various ways of approaching brands so that they actually see you, because not all the brands actually see us. There's a lot of micro influencers out there, but how do they find you? The easiest way for you to be noticed is tagging a brand that you generally use and genuinely love. If you are lucky enough to find their email address, actually email them that link of a video that you've mentioned them in, or that post that you've included them in on Instagram. That is one super easy way. DM them if you can. Listen, I know it sounds tacky, but you would rather approach a brand by a DM and get a no than to sit back and wonder if they'd ever see you. So yeah, tagging them, DMing them, sending them emails, letting them know that you've used their products, you genuinely love their products, is a way of you approaching brands. The other way is attending events. If you are lucky enough to be invited, great, but if you have influencer friends, ask them to take you as a +1. I started doing that with Kopano. Myself and her, if we're not invited to events, or she's invited and I'm not, even Sino does that with me. If she's invited and I'm not, you know, she would ask, can she be a +1? Facebook has also done that as well with me, and events where she wasn't and I just asked, can I take her with, and that kind of thing. This really helps, and it puts you in front of the brand. But don't get to the event and just chill. Find out who the brand manager is, speak to the agency or the promotions company that's doing the event, find out who the right people are to talk to get you in front of those people and for you to actually pitch something that is valuable and something that they can work with. So that's a brilliant way. When you get to the event, network, get to know people. You know, I find that events nowadays are so glamorized. It's all about us sitting and listening to whatever somebody has to say and then eating and going home. Don't leave it there. Someone told me this is a business, you know, treat this as a business. And I don't know if I can mention her, but she is doing so well here, and she's a micro influencer. She has a YouTube channel here, and I've learned so much from her. But anyway, you don't necessarily have to then think, oh, I need to exploit my audience, or I need to sell myself, you know, in a way that you may lose your authenticity. No, nothing like that. Treating this as a business is looking at ways that you can benefit the brand, and the brand can then in turn benefit you. Offer value and they'll be willing to pay. Can I be honest with you? The first XoXo event, I actually emailed the XoXo people and I said, this is me, I've got a hair channel, these are my stats, and I'd like to attend. I had very little subscribers. I mean, there must have been less than 700, but I had the email address thanks to Kopano, who was invited to that event. She actually sent me the email address and I sold myself, and bam, the second XoXo I was paid to be there. The third XoXo, the second one was in Cape Town. The third XoXo I was paid to speak at the event. So you need to understand that sometimes you need a little bit of a push. You need to put yourself out there. And then the last way is when you do have a relationship with a brand and you've established this relationship either through many events and they've seen your face and they know you and you know who that brand manager is, you can simply write them a proposal, a detailed proposal on how you can make them money. I am not one of those influencers who are just like, oh, this is my platform and I'll sell you X and Y. I am all about collaboration. And collaboration means you need to benefit as much as I benefit, okay? Not necessarily the monetary aspect, because money, and that once-off deal is useless if it's not going to get me repeat business and it's not going to get you repeat customers as the brand. You get what I'm saying? So generally when I pitch, I always say, can we do 3 or 4 videos together? And it can be a small feature, okay? But in this 4 or 5 videos, or even 3 or 4 videos, we are doing them every quarter, or we're doing it every 4 months, and I'm guaranteed an income over that time. You know, every 4 months I know that I'm getting a check from you, and I learned this from my first deal, where every single month I was making money. You know, it actually brings you a lot of stability as an influencer, and it also doesn't make you power or money hungry, you know, at the end of the month, because you think, how can I make my next check? No, you actually sit down, you think, how can I offer value, so much so that our next video, they can also get excited. The brand can be like, yes, we're doing another video, yes, can we have, and the next year they can be the ones saying, let's actually renew, you know. So that's the sort of approach I've personally had to my brands. And of the 5 proposals that I sent in the beginning of the year, 3 came back immediately with a yes. The other 2 actually came back recently with a yes. So it's not always about you rushing to make that money. It's all about massaging things in and making sure that you're offering them value and growing with a brand. In terms of rate cards and pricing, I know this question is gonna come up. I started doing my rate card obviously back when I had my first deal last year, and everything was underpriced, trust me, but you get to learn over time. There are platforms like Webfluential where they can give you a market price for you to start pricing at. But for me personally, I speak to my friends and I treat it at a deal by deal basis and a brand by brand basis. So for local brands, for instance, I'll almost never overcharge, because the struggle is real, and when it's black women owned companies, I generally lower my price, because I want to support black brands and I want to work with them on the long term. I want to grow with them, so when they're big, and I know they're big, they can also give me that money, you know what I mean? But yeah, getting yourself onto Webfluential is a great way of getting yourself out there. Brands see you. Brands can also see your media kit, what you have to offer, your numbers as well, on social media. But again, I can say all of these things and you can have your rate card, you can have your proposal ready. If you're not putting in the work, brands are not going to look at you, brands are not going to use you. So it's really, really important for you to have all the knowledge about how we make money. But if you also want to be in that space, understand the fact that you have to offer brands value and a certain unique selling point that you have, not only about whatever you're selling, the product, but about yourself. You know, for me, it's authenticity. Like, I've worked with so many brands, and the one thing that I keep hearing over and over in the different ways that I've worked with them is, you're authentic. You know, I buy into you, I watch your channel. I've heard accounts managers, brand managers say that over and over and over, and for me, I hope to hold on to that, because authenticity is one of the biggest things people lose when they go big, when they move from micro influencer to major influencer, you know. And that's not the case for everyone, but I do see it in some influencers that, you know what, like, I can't trust you anymore, I can't trust your opinion anymore, because it looks like you're just working with every brand, and it looks like it's just for the money. Yeah, that is the gist of how you can make money once you are all set about a rate card. Rate cards are super easy to do. Mine simply has got a cover page. Thereafter, it has a little bio about me. Then it's got the money part, where I just list all my services, whether it's an appearance that you're looking for, a speaker, MC, whatever it is. It's pretty detailed, and then obviously it goes into the video rate, the mention rate, the Instagram rate, a post, a full caption, an Insta story. Like, it goes deep, okay? And then after that list, I then talk about my social media stats. Oh, there's also a stats page, yeah, because it's very, very important. Like, what are you offering me? What are your numbers? What do they look like? And that rate card I usually use for brands that just approach me and have never worked with me before. But yeah, brands that I've worked with before generally know my rates, and they call me up and they're like, hey, I want to do something with you, are you keen for a shoot for my website, blah blah blah. And yeah, in that way I can just negotiate the rate telephonically, and the deal is done just like that. So that's how it usually works. I hope I've covered all my bases. I wanted this to be super casual. My tea is getting cold. But I hope this video has been super, super helpful. I wanted to close off the Daily Dose of Yolz series with a money talk, because I know it's such a topic that people don't always want to talk about. And I know when brands started asking for my fees, it was so difficult to actually price something, because no one was telling me anything. But because we've been talking about money, you know, we've been talking about saving, we've been talking about investments and property, I thought, this is a good time to give you guys the tea on how micro influencers make money. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Don't forget that if you want to be a micro influencer, please put in the work. This is not an easy job. This is not to make it look like I roll out of bed at 10 and just make money just like that. Like, every single thing takes thought, every single thing takes planning, and everything takes a bit of strategy to offer value. And the key thing in all of this is return on investment, not only for you as the influencer but also for the brand. I love you guys so much, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, especially if you are enjoying this content. Give this video a massive thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Comment down below and let me know your thoughts on this. Don't forget to leave your channel as well as your Instagram handle, especially if you are a micro influencer or an aspiring influencer or somebody who wants to get into this game. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye.